Continuing with our topic of trigonometry, we're now going to be focusing on sketching angles. So the measure of an angle quantifies both the direction and the amount of rotation from the initial side to the terminal side of our angle. So remember, direction talks about rotation, and then amount of rotation is compared to where we are at in terms of the initial side and each quadrant. So for this course, we will only be working with degree, not radian measure of an angle, so degrees only. One full positive rotation of a ray about its endpoint is 360 degrees, and we denote that with the degree symbol. And an angle lies in a quadrant, either quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4. And if it doesn't lie in a quadrant, then it means it's a quadrantal angle. And a quadrantal angle is an angle in standard position that lies on either the x or the y axis. And examples of quadrantal angles are 0, 90, 180, 270, 360, or maybe it's past a full rotation like 450, or we could go in the negative direction, negative 90 degrees, etc. So there are infinite quadrantal angles, but they lie on either the x or the y axis. So let's start by sketching angles so that we can figure out what quadrant the terminal side of the angle lies in. So our first example, you're asked to sketch 123.7 degrees. Now remember, initial side starts at 0 degrees, and then we have 90, 180, 270, and then a full rotation, we're at 360. So if I start at the initial side, I'm at 0 degrees and going in the positive direction. And I know to go in the positive direction because this is positive 123 degrees. But I have to go past 90 degrees, but not as far as 180 degrees. So it is about there. So the terminal side of my angle lies in quadrant 2. Now notice 472 degrees. It is positive, so that helps me understand that I'm going in a counterclockwise direction, but I'm also noticing that it is past a full rotation. So a full rotation is 360 degrees. If I go 90 more degrees, I'm at 450. But I have to go 22 degrees farther. So for this angle, I am also in quadrant 2. For our last example of sketching, we're looking at negative 145 degrees. So I'm starting on the initial side, but I'm going in the negative direction. So this is negative 90. But I have to go negative 55 more degrees. So it's just past the halfway point of that. And this is landing in quadrant 3. So negative 145 degrees. For our next example, we're going to determine a positive coterminal angle in order to figure out which quadrant the terminal side of this angle lies in. So 423 degrees is past a positive full rotation. So one way for me to find a positive coterminal angle for the purpose of figuring out where this angle actually lands is to not add 360 degrees, but to actually subtract. So 423 degrees minus 360 degrees gives me 63 degrees. And now I have a better understanding. I see that 63 degrees is between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. So I understand that this angle lies in quadrant 1. And to be able to see this, we're actually going to sketch both. We're going to sketch the original angle and we're going to sketch the coterminal angle. So we're going to sketch 63 degrees. So 63 degrees, if we understand that it is in quadrant 1, it's between 0 and 90 degrees. Now halfway between 0 and 90 is 45 degrees, so this is beyond halfway. In fact, it's almost 2/3. 2/3 would be about 67 degrees. So our terminal side of this angle lies in quadrant 1. So that is 63 degrees. Now 423 degrees. I have to go a full rotation and 63 degrees more. So notice both of these lie in quadrant 1. Your first question, determine the quadrant that 263 degrees lies in. Determine the quadrant that 563 degrees lies in. Determine the quadrant that negative 63 degrees lies in. And determine the quadrant that negative 263 degrees lies in.